I've lived 1,000 lives. I've piloted 1,000 souls. I've killed and fought and died just for another role.
This is the Happy Jacks RPG podcast, a roundtable discussion that's a mix of friendship, humor, unbridled enthusiasm, and tabletop RPG topics sent in from around the world.
Just for another role.
Hello. Oh. Hello.
Hello,
I'm
We're
totally
doing
professional.
great.
It's fine. If you're listening to the podcast, everything's great.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
Hello.
okay. I screamed a little, but it's fine. My headphones almost came off.
Yeah. All right. Hello, and welcome to season 36, episode 19 of the Happy Jacks RPG podcast. My name is Kimmy.
I'm Vixie.
I'm Clara.
And I'm Pooja.
In today's episode, Eric from New Jersey wants to talk about creating villains. Wes from Indianapolis takes player contracts literally. And from the archive 2024, not a super old archive, Darkknight asks about players voiding other PC's abilities.
It's been 86 years.
Yes.
Yeah, hold on. It's been 86 years since 2024. How
Yeah.
dare.
Oh, God.
If you'd like to contribute a question or topic to the show, you can email us at happyjacksrpg@gmail.com. That's happyjacksrpg@gmail.com. Or you can join our Discord at happyjacks.org/discord and add things to the mailbag channel. There's a bunch of stuff in there. And
I have so many half-written mailbags that I need to, age.
yeah.
Because
Oh,
they can't
jeez.
have them.
I love, the last one. You're like, Kimmy, make this look like a letter. I was like, no. I'm just going to copy it over.
I'll throw them
Yay.
in. I throw my mailbags in the Slack because I need them to percolate before I try to so people don't know I'm talking about them.
All right.
Anonymize this, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Announcements. Our next game days will be in March. If you join the Discord, you can vote on which weekend in March we run it. So it's a great time. It's fun. It's free. It's fantastic. It was last weekend here for our January con. We do it every other month. And it's wonderful. And just super big shout out to Verk, who keeps that running, herds those cats, helps set up the polls and all the rooms for all the games every other month. And it's fantastic. You're the best. Thank you. OrCon 2026 is coming up February 13th through the 16th. Yay! At the LAX Hilton. We'll be doing our live show there at 8 p.m. Pacific time on Saturday nights. And you can come join us for a lot of fun and games. It should be great. We have a bunch of people from the community flying in from other states for this one, so it's very exciting.
Yes.
The Alaska contingent of Captain Kurt and Rose are coming. And
I
yeah,
will sneak away from my bachelorette
Yeah.
party.
it's going to be amazing. It's amazing.
Is the way you put that makes it sound like it's your bachelorette party.
You don't know what I've been up to this last year.
I mean,
I'm not
you haven't been on the show for a
That's
while.
If I didn't get invited, we're going to fight.
No.
Oh.
No, I will just be at one.
But yeah, it should be a fantastic time. And we have Gregory from Wisconsin's also coming. Very exciting. The normal contingent, Kadave, me, Jason. I have a game on the books. A bunch of people are running stuff at Games on Demand.
Yes.
It's just a fantastic, fun little local convention. And yeah.
If you can't sign up for things, you should go and hang out and grab games on demand because I have done that multiple times and it's delightful.
A lot of us honestly do that for the majority of the time now.
Yeah, it's how I got to
Yes.
play. It's weird because then you get to play test a lot of early games, and so
Yes.
I missed it, but my my partner at the time got to play Under Hollow Hills early, and it changed us. I wanted to play it so bad, I ended up having to back it on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's good. I will, if I have time, I have a concept for a tarot-based RPG that's not Decima, that's an actual
Oh.
RPG. That's
What's
not
Decima?
world building. And so I hopefully if I can get enough of it together by then, I want to play test it that weekend. So we'll see.
Yay, fingers crossed.
Yeah, should be good. Also, please send in questions, stories, commentary, etc. We are running a little bit low on content after the holidays. It's been better that people listened last week. Good job. Thank you, friends. But keep sending in more things, please. All right. Indie Designer of the Month Our indie designer of the month for January is Carrie Linden, she, they, from Starbright Studios, and also the chairperson of the Gamma DEI committee.
Oh, wow.
Carrie is a fantastic,
We love a
fantastic human.
DEI friend.
And when I put out the call for Carrie, I really need to see what a style sheet for an RPG for a professional layout artist looks like. They sent it. They were like, here, friend. Look at
You
this.
didn't need to cry, actually, and you're like, I'm not gonna help
I was
it.
like panicked and like the layout person was like, well, do you have this? I was like, yes, I am a professional. I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Freshly texting. I know that in my soul.
Yeah.
I feel that so hard on the other end.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
You don't. Yeah.
it's cool. Eventually we will get there, friend.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
We got there. We got there. Thank
Yes.
you. But anyway, sorry. Back to their actual work. You can find their stuff at snowbrightstudio.com. Singular, not studios. Studio. And today's product we're talking about is Tea Time Adventures Tea Pets. The Tea Pets need your help, and you're just the person to help build their new sanctuary. Tea Pets is a solo or group map-making cozy RPG. This spinoff from Tea Time Adventures can be played with or without the Tea Time Adventures core rulebook. Rescue injured tea pets and collaboratively build and draw a sanctuary where they can live and grow until they are strong enough to return to the wild. This book includes dozens of new friendly but mischievous tea pets to befriend and care for, as well as a new pet snack recipes made special just for your furry and feathered friends. And it is $14.99 at snowbrightstudio.com.
Yay.
And it is the most cozy of the cutest little pets ever. Amazing.
I need someone to just clip Pooja and I reacting to that.
That was super
description.
cute. Yeah.
They're so cute.
Oh,
Adorable.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
fun.
But seriously, like they're
and then
super cute.
You could like have it while you have your own little tea pet on your tea service while you
Yes.
drink your tea.
And then you've made a little world, and then you can play Brindlewood Bay, but you're all little animal tea pets.
One of the coolest things that they do, like regular magazines that are actual physical magazines that still show up, and they have cozy and like they're like themed, and they come with like crochet patterns and snacks, as well as like RPG and gaming content.
Wait, no, that's
why did
so
I love that?
cute.
Yeah, it's
Wait,
fantastic.
I love getting mail.
Yeah, it's really cool. And they interviewed me for a few of them ago, so there's like a whole section on me talking about Starscape right next to like a little crochet pattern and like yummy snacks and like tea content.
This is Cozy Magazine.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
If you go to snowbrightstudios.com, it's you can see all the stuff there.
Double plug.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
gonna favorite that now.
Yeah, it's called
Cozy.
Cozy Companion is like the name
Cozy
of the magazine in
Companion.
general, and then they come out with
This
it
artwork.
regularly. Yeah.
Oh
Look
my
at
god.
this
Pumpkin
art.
Spice RPG.
Sorry, I brought
What?
Yeah, this is the one from then. But
We're
yeah,
just-
it's very cute.
Everyone tuning in. We have a monitor where we can look at
Yeah,
the
they're looking at
computer.
like I brought it
We're
up.
looking
so.
at
Yep.
the monitor.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh my god.
It's very cute.
Cozy Companion.
adorable.
Oh my god, I love mail. Okay.
Yeah. So you can go sign up for the thing.
I love any game when you're building something
Yeah.
in real
Yes.
life. Like, everyone knows that I love artifacts of things.
Yeah, and I love the concept of this game because it's something that's so like unique. This one specifically, like the Tea Time Companion, the Tea Time Adventures is also like a cozy thing, but the Tea Time Pets is just a whole separate little thing. They're very
just-
cute.
They're so cute.
I can't handle that. That's upsettingly cute. What? Oh, he's
It's
just
a
a little
best
tiger.
friendiary. It's a best friendiary.
Yeah.
Wow.
And look at that little kitty.
Dying.
Look at the-
I'm dying.
So,
It's a trash panda.
It's a glitter.
I would like
Okay.
a glitter raccoon, please.
There's a
Oh my
trash
God.
panda, and it's shiny.
I've never been so seen in my
So
life.
shiny.
All right. Carrie does amazing stuff. So does Snowbright Studios. Snowbright Studio, and you can get the Tea Pets for $14.99 for the digital version on their website. But you can also, if you prefer the actual physical thing, they have the physical things too. They're great and just fantastic humans, and they focus a lot on marginalized gender creators and things like that. So it's fantastic.
I'm gonna have an asthma
Yay.
attack. That was so cute.
Yes.
Don't. No.
Yeah, if I start coughing, I'm fine.
Yep. All right. Mailbag number 1. Who wants to read that and skip the little part where I accidentally copied the date and the to me and the email addresses at the top of it?
To me. Oh boy.
I was like, hold on. No, she goes short as fastest. No, I'm going for it.
Got it.
I mean,
Called it.
are you okay? It's been called.
Wait, Pooja, you doing it?
Yes.
Okay, Pooja got to
Who'd
be
you
first.
called it? Hands up.
Dear Kimmy and the rest of the wonderful hosts available this week.
Woo!
Hello.
You're
It's
wonderful.
Eric from New Jersey.
Hello, Eric from New Jersey.
I hope all is well on the other coast. Well,
mean,
as
I'm
well
on
as
your
it
coast,
can be in
bud,
this country
so-
right now.
Yeah.
Recently, I have been toying with supervillains for a superhero game that I am never going to run.
Oh.
It's too far down the queue at this point.
Ah.
However, it has led me to a current exercise I use to create villains in many genres. I wanted to share it with you and also ask how you create interesting villains in your own RPGs.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I usually just answer the following questions in order. What is the villain's motivation? AKA, what drives them to be the being that they are? Do they have a bad past? Were they always someone who thought a certain way about things? The important thing here is the villain should not be evil for the sake of being evil. They should have a reason for their actions that make sense to them.
Mm.
2. What is their goal? Based on their motivation, what is the tangible thing that they are trying to achieve? What are they doing that, by execution, makes them a villain and will hopefully make the PCs want to stop them? 3. How do they plan to achieve that goal? If the PCs don't do anything, what sequence of events are going to happen? What happens when someone tries to stop them? This is also a good time to write out what resources a person has so that you know what the PCs will face. 4. What unusual aspect of the villain stands out? Having some sort of contrasting event or habit and a reason for it. For example, maybe there's a fantasy warlord who hates all religion and outlaws clerics in his land. Yet he secretly has a chapel in his stronghold where he practices his faith, declaring his form of worship to be the one true way, but knowing if ever exposed, his own people may turn on him. Stuff like that. Overall, it seems like a lot, but I've been doing it for so long it goes pretty quick. I enjoy world building and like winding up the world by setting all of this up and then just letting the world go at it. It's also fun when players are trying to figure out who is doing what because multiple villains are doing bad things and not nicely waiting to take turns. Once, when playing TMNT, the only time I was running Palladium, I swear. My players were pursuing a lead on giant baboons sent by a scientist who wanted to experiment on the PCs. They got some wires crossed and ended up encountering the terror bears.
Oh, okay.
Cross the Care Bears with the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and you get the idea.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So the Care Bear cousins, it's cool.
Yes.
These exist in. Never mind.
They're the ones that
Care Bears
were invited
universe.
to the cookout, okay? All right, just saying.
They were caught a bit off guard, but recovered to deal with the situation. So what are your ways of developing villains? Or developing compelling villains? I'm also sure I left out things I do in each step as to not make this email too epic. Feel free to fill in as needed. As always, stay gaming, stay tipsy, stay diverse. Mugs held high. Woo! Eric from New Jersey. P.S. The Bodhana group just released an RPG. Maybe it's as good as watching 2 squirrels mate, or it could be great. However, the Bodhana group are good people, so if you get a chance, give branch riders a look.
How do you feel about 2 squirrels mating
Well-
in general to decide whether it's a good game or not?
It reminds me of a story I have about a rehearsal in which 2 raccoons did something very similar while we were rehearsing. But,
Oh, wow.
No.
Welcome to Florida, I guess.
Oh my god.
Um,
I feel like that's a tame story then.
Yeah, I feel like the squirrels just don't really.
The squirrels got off easy.
just, whatever, it's fine.
in that vein, like before we get to talking about the email, completely just about awkward moments. I took my daughter, who's 5, to the California Science Museum the other day, the Science Center, and they have a whole section now on like birth and stuff. Laurelyn and I are like, we don't do storks. She's like got like the age appropriate, like, okay. So there were some parents like they've got like there's like this video like rotating, and it's like chicks hatching from eggs, a baby whale being born, all these things, and everyone's like crowded around all these animals, and then it's like human baby being born, like all of a sudden on the screen, and like so many parents had clearly not been prepared for that moment. They like picked up their kids and like walked away. And, oh. And it's just like, because it wasn't like full on frontal, like it's from the side. So you didn't actually see any private parts. It was just like a lady and then they pull a baby out and you see the baby. It's like very like what you'd see in like a TV show.
It's tasteful.
Yeah, except real. It's not like faked. Yeah. And it was just very funny, like the sudden awkwardness of it. So Anyway, I don't know about squirrels fucking, but random baby birth, it definitely kills the mood for lots of people.
Yeah.
Sips tea casually.
I took notes and then I put the notes somewhere. There they are.
I was like, I saw you taking notes.
I know, I'm on top of it. It's crazy.
All right. So what are your ways of developing compelling villains?
I mean, so I think they're. Oh my god, my squish toy is leaking.
Squish toy.
Yeah, this is my villain origin story. There's like kind of a rule of thumb I've heard in a lot of circles where it's like no villain believes that they are the villain in their story, and I say that's coward talk. Unrepentant villain who knows they're being evil, go for it, man. Like I really love an unrepentant villain sometimes because it just makes, like, not everyone has to be morally gray. Sometimes people need to be punched.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That makes sense.
I don't think the two of them are mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
Though.
No, you can also be morally gray and get
Well,
punched.
no, not even morally gray, but just like you can believe you're the hero
Yes.
and still need to be punched repeatedly until you realize you're the villain.
No, for sure. But I know that there's a lot of but like I think that like no villain thinks that they're the villain in their story is correct. Like it's not I do like this, like no villain thinks of the villain in their story, or if the villain thinks that they're doing bad, they think it is worth it for X reason. So like it is the like number one, what's the motivation? What drives them to being what they are? Like I like that question a lot. It is like you gotta do something.
Yeah.
You gotta have a reason to get out of bed and do some villainy. And I like I hear that like they don't believe it, and I'm like, you gotta love it. But you can always go the Brenda Mulligan route and just pick a cause you fucking love and make the bad guy capitalism.
Oh,
Yes.
Which is usually where I start.
Yeah, that's sort of Jason's route too. The bad guy is always capitalism in Jason's game.
I got onto the bad guys capitalism train finally, and it made me kind of sad. So I did have to go back to just like warlords. I know how to deal with a warlord.
It's very much like the Jason AU is very much like Rise Core.
Yeah. In everything.
Rise
yeah.
Core.
In all the things.
I love Rise Core. I've got to start sneaking into my stuff.
You should.
I'm
I
so
feel like
sad.
infiltrating everything.
At one point, we tried to post like Rise Core merch, and it got taken down. So
Why?
I guess because there must be an actual Rise Core. Like we
Ooh,
used
oh no.
we used like clip art stuff. Like it was like free use like images with Rise Core on it, and yeah,
And somebody was like, "We're not evil, actually."
Like, yep.
Yeah, they're like, please stop calling us evil. We'll have to make a new cross game universe villain company because I don't like making names up.
I'll try again. Maybe they've gone out of business. Who knows? But
Oh, jeez. They no longer exist.
maybe they lost at capitalism, and we can make merch now.
The notes I actually took pertained. Sorry, I'm like, oh wait, I can go back to this.
Air
The
potatoes.
notes I actually took pertain to point 3, which is like, God. How do they plan to achieve that goal if the PCs don't do anything? What sequence of events are going to happen? So there have been several games that have tried to codify this now, and the one that stood out the most before I almost threw up was Blades in the Dark does this with your clocks. My behated clocks.
Well, clocks were a thing before Blades in the Dark, though.
I know, which is why I have the firm stance that Blades in the Dark is just Forged in the Dark games are just PBTA games with a hat on. Speaking of the PBTA games, Monster of the Week does this too, where they do like the morning, noon, the time. They do a time version of it as well, but it's like day, midday, evening, night.
Urban Shadows does that too.
Yeah. So like those games really hold your hand and they're like, hey, GM, you gotta think about what happens when your villain is allowed to progress without doing nothing. So I really like that. I liked that they codified it. I tend to play spoilers for people who play games on I said under me. What's the word I'm looking for?
Oh my.
Play at my table.
At your table?
That's on the
If you
internet
wanna-
forever.
If by under me you mean under the table, obviously, because, PG-13 experience or something.
Yeah. Anyway.
We're not kink shaming. We're not kink
We're
shaming.
not
We're
kink
not kink
shaming.
shaming. We want to
no,
play
no,
fair.
not at all.
Listen, let these mermaids touch your dick, maybe. But yes, I guess I like the clock thing. I get it. I tend to think it's a little punishing for players if your villain is moving at the speed of that a villain would. So I tend to think of it as more of a I tend to do villains as RTS style. So like the players will do a move, and as the players progress, the villain progresses at the same level. And so their direct stuff interferes. It's not like if the players are faffing around having like their soap opera, because that's what we all know TTRPGs are for. The villain is like getting away with murder.
Literally.
Literally.
I tend to think of campaigns and that kind of and villains specifically as part of like a holistic thing of the story that we would all like to tell. Especially like post session 0, you've got kind of where your players are at, you've established a bunch of stuff about the world, and then to look at it and say like, okay, what's the most kind of interesting thing, what's the most volatile thing that I can put in here that would make the most sense in this world that we're playing in,
How
and
can I
go
blow
from
up
there.
their world?
Yeah.
Okay.
What will inflict the most emotional damage on these people?
Emotional damage.
I'm glad we're always players at the same table.
Yeah.
We're not anymore, though.
We're not. They won't let us.
No.
Oh, no.
They learned their lesson.
Everyone's
One
learned.
too many times at the table.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I feel like I never codified my process for making a villain. I sort of just do it. But I also am very good at like kind of, and I'm not tooting my own horn. I kind of create things around my players. So I'm always like, give me your backstory. Let me see how I can factor this in. Because I really like when the villain is connected to the players in some way. But when I start creation, I usually start with goals. Like, especially for like a one shot, I always try to give the villain a very simple goal, because with one shots, I find the simplest stories told well are very effective and entertaining. Like, because I do think that there might be sometimes there's this mentality of like, I have to create this earth-shattering, mind-numbing story, like all of that like sort of indie film mindset. And I was like, no, you can actually just go slay a dragon. Like, that's fine. Just tell it in a fun way. That also works as long as you're having fun. Like, the point is to have fun.
Where sometimes you just start a union in the dungeon, and then
Exactly.
the workers
See?
overthrow the evil.
Yes.
It is so real to just do the and I have that problem where I'm like, and I've got to be clever, and it's like, actually, you can just slay a dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like, because I ran a game of Flabbergasted, and the way Flabbergasted works is you have rival social clubs. Like, it's not as combat focused. So I did the classic, like, oh, the villains really want to mess you up, and they're going to, like, do stupid stuff, and gradually intensified it until, like, the last confrontation was them trying to prevent their social club getting set on fire. Like, arson, basically. So.
Oh, no, arson.
Oh, no. Arson.
Right, but like you can do stuff like that, and it's like, oh no, say like this is that Lifetime movie, save the building. But for like longer campaigns, I really try to think through, like, that's when I get into like motivation, like what does this person want? How do I stretch this out over the course of a campaign? And of course I immediately go to Pirates of Dark Water, although I feel like that's kind of a cop out because my villains were sort of built into the world of Pirates of Dark Water. But I will say, like, I opted not to use Bloth for that reason. Because Bloth, if you watch the cartoon, was the original bad guy, like big bad for Pirates of Dark Water. And I was like, I want him there, but I don't want him there. Like present but in legacy, which is how Pooja ended up being the not villain, the not villain, but child of the villain, which I thought was really interesting. But the long and
You've
short of
met
it
me.
is,
I've met you.
right. The long and short of it is I ended up creating a new villain with different but similar goals. Like it was very much like they wanted the things that the characters wanted in the story, but for different reasons, and they were not good reasons. So that's kind of how I work. Like I build out the goal and then build out motivations around the goal, and then sort of find ways to like blend them into the world. Like, who is this person? What are they about? And then I start sort of answering those questions. So I think I do something similar, but just out of order,
Yeah.
because I
think what
like
you
having
said-
like a point to work towards.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. And I
Yeah.
think what you said about having villains built into the setting, like, that's helpful, but I feel like we should be doing that with villains no matter what we're doing. If we're coming up with a world folklore, like, those villains need to be part of the world. We need to see them and their machinations and their power and their contacts. It shouldn't feel like you just like dropped a little cherry on top of this little world that already existed. Like, oh, here's the evil cherry. Like, they should have connections there. Now, if you have a part of the story like, oh, they just landed and are taking over, whatever, like, that's a little different. But there
Mhm.
should still be ripple effects of what they're doing wherever wherever your party is.
Right.
And if they get to a place that villain hasn't reached yet, that should be something of note. Even if it's something small, like, the water tastes different than it used to before they came, or whatever it is. Like, there can be all these details. So I think that's a really important point. There should be an underlying current of this villain wherever you are, even if they're on like a side quest or chasing a red herring or whatever it is. Like, there should still be signs so to like keep them reminded of it.
Yes.
I think that like obviously tying villains into your world, and that they obviously they should interact. I've been playing Mutants and Masterminds, which is superheroes, and it's such a good game.
It's so great.
I'm having so much fun.
Wonderful, yeah.
And so you get, it's a villain. We've got a villain every week, and as a result, we get you start to see a lot of different motivations and to see why and how things are happening. One of the things I've really loved about that is because I don't think anyone at this table is gonna say otherwise. We fucking love comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'm sorry, I do not like comic books.
Yeah, Golden Lasso Girl hates comic books, actually.
Yes.
You heard it here
You heard
first.
it here first. I commit slander constantly.
gonna go.
Anyway. But the thing I've enjoyed is seeing like a variety of seeing villains at a variety of motivations and a variety of like skill levels. Like oh my god, the Mutants and Masterminds universe is huge,
Yes.
Yeah.
and there's so much stuff. But like you get these really beautiful, you get these really like cool in-depth organizations that are doing shit that kind of reflect like if we're gonna like look at like I don't know organized structural systems that fuck you over, and then slide all the way back to like his name is Explodo. He does what it says on the tin.
I love that because it really gives you that sense of like it's the Young Justice had that going on. I really feel like Saturday morning cartoons nailed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
They
like
really did.
you've got like the original Teen Titans animated show where you have a villain of the week, but they all like Young Justice was
They're
kind of like
interlinked.
really beating you over the head with it. But at the end of every episode, you had like a 2-minute thing with all the villains talking about what had happened in that episode. But
We've had a lot of fun here today.
but it was
Iridium should not be purchased online.
but it was just very much like there was a lot of stuff you always knew as a viewer, and then therefore like to translate that to a TTRPG, it's like you think about it, it's like, okay, is there a master villain controlling a bunch of other villains? Is there an organization? Do they have their own union?
Do they have the
Villain
evil
union is
And then,
oh.
go ahead. No,
No,
I was just
please.
gonna say conversely, it's always I think a lot of people think of villains, we think of personifications. Like we think of like humanoids or people who who some kind of intelligent thing. We don't necessarily think of like dragons or creatures as being villains of those kinds. And I was actually just thinking of the Wild Sea. Because in the Wild Sea, what's interesting about the game is that a lot of the creatures in the game, or lack thereof, because there's actual beasts that you can face that are concepts. Like there's a whole thing that just makes you a workaholic. Like you want to talk about the villain being capitalism? Like this is literally capitalism personified. You do nothing but work till you die, and you don't stop, and you don't know why. Like it messes with your mind. That's how bad it is. It's not the one I used, but it's really interesting because what I love about the Wild Words engine specifically is that it allows your players to it gives them enough rope to like tie themselves up in a way, because they're self-contained almost. Like I'm thinking specifically, there's a way that there's a ghost ship. We had run a game, and the way that I did it is there was they have ghost ships that are basically sentient ships but are piloted by ghosts. And the idea behind it is it's very Pirates of the Caribbean in the sense that they want you to come work on their ship. So they try to pull you in and like they mess with your mind and like try to make you one of the crew essentially, and then you end up becoming part of their crew, right? And the way that I set up this adventure, and I talked to two players beforehand, one of whom was playing a race that was like basically kind of an undeadish race. They basically anchored themselves and were able to like be alive, but they're not quite alive. Their soul is just anchored to their body by some thing. I forgot. I think they're the anchored. I think that's what they're called. And then the other person was playing, there's a sentient ship. It's essentially like a Warforged, but it's called something different in the game. And I talked to her specifically about being the ghost ship. So like she was one half of the ship, and then the ship itself was the other half. And so
love
the
a
big
sentient
reveal
ship.
at the end was finding out that that was her. That was the other half of her soul. And like she had to in the Wild Sea, the other cool, and sorry, I'm a MythWorks fangirl, so I could go on about this for hours. But like basically the long and short of it is she had a choice to make, because in the Wild Sea you don't just die, you can choose to die. Or you can choose to like live by the skin of your teeth. It's very much a choice that you make as a player, which I think also lends itself to the narrative stuff. But she could choose to merge and die, or stay like herself as an individual and like defeat the ship, which I think created a really interesting challenge for the players, because it's very much like that man versus nature, man versus self, like those narrative concepts I learned in writing. But it was a very cool way to set this up, where there wasn't, the real villain was like the whole time, but not really, without you ever realizing it.
Yeah.
Stuff like that I think is really cool, because it gives the players a lot more to work with, and it allows them to be a lot more invested in the story, especially if you're playing at a table that's narrative focused. Like if you have players that love narrative, that's really meaty and fun for them to get into.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, when we all stand MythWorks here. We are
I need someone to run
MythWorks,
Wild
yeah.
Sea for me.
So I'm a MythWorks. I'm a fangirl. I would love to run Wild Sea for you. Call me. It's fine.
We'll talk. I always have a weird relationship with the villain in my games anyway.
One of the things I do, which is probably not a great idea, but I generally, when I create a villain, I don't really plan a lot of them. Like I plan kind of their end goal-ish. Like, hey, I think there's something about this, or something about greed sometimes. Like it's even that vague sometimes. And then you just kind of make them this ominous presence in the game at first, and then as the players go through the game, and this is because I'm a, what do they call us, no prep improv Californian.
Wait, hold on, what?
From a couple of weeks ago.
A no prep improv Californian.
T-shirts are coming.
I love that.
I need to watch our backlog, I think.
But so basically, like you plan like the idea, like who they are, like who they are, what they look like, their backstory slightly, so you can weave them in as like this presence in the game. But then as the party's going through and doing stuff, that's when you take the opportunities to have those moments. So their goal might be greed, or they want to take over the kingdom or whatever it is, but the actual things they do are taken basically from what the party's doing. If they are going this little town and they find, oh, there's a orphanage. Oh, okay, where did all the orphans come from? Why are they all orphans? Like, start wrapping those things that they might not even be handling directly in that moment.
Why so many orphans?
No, yeah. Why so many? Like, start tying all those things that they're discovering and fighting back to whatever this big bad is, and it lets you build up the villain in a much more direct way that is very personal to the players, and also lets you use pre-made story ideas from other sources. It's like, oh, save the burning orphanage. Okay, you have a burning orphanage. Okay, the villain didn't set the orphanage on fire, but they're the reason there were so many kids at the orphanage. So even small little things like that, session to session, can really long-term impact how much the party hates the villain, because that really, really, like, if you save little Timmy in the orphanage and they're like, thank you, amazing fighters, I need the best. Oh, little Timmy, why can't you go home? I can't go home, it's so bad, I killed everyone on my farm. You're like, oh, we will kill the big bad, like, immediately.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
Didn't even have to be present. Like, it was probably some stupid lantern, but like,
Kill their cat. like it's the what's the opposite of save the cat? I guess kill the cat.
Kill the
Kill the
cat. Oh my
dog.
god, not the
Kill the
cat. I have
dog.
cats.
The because I BP. Sorry, my friend is in chat. Is like using kids as gloriously exploitative. It is, and that's why we do it.
Yes.
If you're gonna have a villain, you might as well you might as well do something terrible to your friend's kid.
Yeah, especially
But
if they're not
conversely, like-
harmed.
oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's
Especially
just
if
the
you
parents.
save them and you just feel
Yes.
like tons of like empathy for them, because oh my god,
Yes.
I would like rage, like Mama Kimmy
Yeah, oh no,
would
I-
just be like, oh, I'm gonna get this villain.
Yes, within
Mm.
the bounds of your lines and veils,
Mhm.
small animals and children
Oh god.
But it's
And
like the
funny.
tugging
and ponies.
and tugging
No,
the basically like just hitting those emotional within the bounds of
Beats.
your lines and veils, hitting those emotional beats where it's like,
Yeah.
oh look, the players have really attached themselves to this new adventurer who's naive and gloriously pure
Oh no.
and just first ventured out into the world yesterday.
This is now just leading into me giving people suggestions on horrible things to do their party. Make an NPC that they're going to love. It's either like a little old guy, like tiny old granny lady, and then kill her. Or don't kill her. You don't have to kill her.
In peril.
In peril
Imperil
regularly,
her.
and then she's the bad guy.
Yeah.
She's been the bad guy
That's
all
Steve's
along.
favorite.
The
Do you love
whole
it? Do you love a
time.
Kaiser Soze moment?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm not allowed to.
But
I'm
yeah.
not allowed to GM anymore.
Yeah, that's sort of the low prep way, because then you can like there's a lot of games out there that have a lot of adventures pre-planned. So if you're running D&D, or if you're running One Ring, or whatever you're running, you can use these story beats that have been pre-prepared for you, so you don't have to do as much planning on your own, but then you can tie it back to the same overarching villain, which is the same strategy that they use in Saturday morning cartoons 100%.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, they have individual writers and individual directors and stuff doing each of the episodes, but they have like the back, like the overarching plot that's like
Plot
the
that
real
goes through it,
behind
yeah.
the scene build. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The reason I don't GM that much is because I turn into like Pepe Sylvia like levels of like, here's the villain, here's the big plan, here's the little one. The player's never paying attention. Got it. All right.
See, if you don't plan it ahead of time, you can't do that.
You can't make a conspiracy board?
Well, no, you can, but you can't give them the answer because there is no answer.
I know. I got a Brindlewood Bay that's more.
See,
I mean, that's
Holy
the real,
shit,
like,
Steve.
that's the real, is, like, the
I
big
think-
brain moment is you can't be disappointed at the answer if you don't have an answer.
that's true.
I mean,
I do love it's the Star Trek hypothesis solution, my favorite mechanic, where come up with 3 solutions to this. One of them will be right. Custom. Figure it out.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm now thinking of a game of Lasers and Feelings, because again, we created a villain like on the spot, because Lasers and Feelings is a super fast, super easy game, and it turned into a wild story about a Roomba.
Roomba
And-
with a knife.
Yes, that's literally what it was. But the Roomba with the knife wasn't the villain. They were the alien artifact the villain wanted. Because the goal of the villain was to get this alien artifact to take over a planet. That's one of the things you can roll, because lasers and feelings you roll about motivation. So you don't have to think at all. You're literally like, I have 2 brain cells and they're non-functional. Rolling. So, but yeah. So and we
And
turned it
never
into
the
this,
twain
like,
shall meet.
exactly. But like it was really fun because essentially we created Cybermen, and the Cybermen were after the Roomba with a knife, or wanted to make it the Roomba into a Roomba with a knife, and the Roomba itself was like, "Can I just sweep up this mess?"
Would you like a knife Roomba? And they're like, no.
No,
It does feel like a little 9 Lives to Valhalla.
yeah, it was really fun, but like that's how easy it can be to write a villain too, like because that story is just fun. Like who doesn't love a story where the Roomba's the ancient alien artifact and like you're being accosted for this Roomba, and like it was wild because then we decided their weakness was like jelly or something or peanut butter or something, and we defeated the Cybermen with peanut butter. But that's how crazy you can go. You know what I mean?
That'd be me.
The point, yeah. So with stuff like that, just make fun, wild stories. Conversely, you can just make challenges. Again, I'm very much like, how abstract can we go here?
Do the
It's
honesty.
Yeah.
It's gods,
Yes.
man.
And that's the thing too, is like, yeah, I feel like this system that Eric has put forth is really cool.
Yes.
And also, you're not my real dad.
No, your real dad is Darth Vader.
Obviously.
Pick someone's family member. They're evil now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just feels like when I am thinking about a game, it tends to be, my villain tends to clue into much more like, it really is like, what kind of experience do the players want at this table?
Yes. Mhm,
And
mhm.
then to make it personal.
Yeah.
Like those are the big overarching things that I am thinking about. And then all of these things that Eric has laid out play into that.
Yeah.
They sort
But
of happen like as you're building, I think.
exactly. It's more of like, to me, it's more of an organic process in terms of like storytelling rather than like a bullet list that I go down to figure things out about people.
Yeah.
I think the most codified I got was when I was running City of Mists, because I had to make so many different factions. I did make, like, I had my little scriptation thing, and there was, like, a page for each faction, and I made sure to put notes in about how they all felt about each other,
Yeah.
and how the things, as we went through the game, how the things that the players were doing were affecting each faction and also how they felt about each other.
Yes.
So,
I like that. Though.
like,
Yeah.
Trade me squishies.
it's not squishy though, it's rolly.
I think it's really important to do things like that for consistency. Because if you have a big bad, or if you have a bad collective or Rise Corps or whatever it is, like you need to make sure that they're somewhat consistent.
Yeah.
Like tying things in as you go is pretty easy and it works well. But if like the vibe of them is changing, or if the players can't tell like what they're overarching, like it's hard to tell if someone's truly evil if they just keep like doing random shit.
Yeah.
Like, then it's like, okay, is this like, I mean, they could still be very evil, but there needs to be a feeling of driving purpose, even if the players don't know what that is.
Exactly.
Mhm,
Yeah.
So I think that the stuff Eric said about knowing like what is their motivation and what is their goal are super important. Even if you don't go through and plan out step by step what their plan is,
Yes.
those are core things that you need to know in order to keep the game feeling consistent. And the players not like, oh, you're just making this up. Like, even if you are making it up, like, they need to feel like there's consistency with the villain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it needs
Very
to
much
feel like it's all one entity behind it rather than,
Yes.
or maybe at first it doesn't. At first it seems
Yeah.
like a bunch of random, things that aren't interconnected. And then as they go through the story, it becomes more and more clear that there is one driving force behind it. It comes back to the Saturday morning cartoon, Young Justice.
And when you
Yeah,
ask
correct.
your players,
Yeah.
and you ask your players, do you have any theories? They go, here's my thoughts. And you go, that's better than what I was planning. And then you pivot.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I think
No
that's
shame.
kind of
No
I
shame,
think everyone
none.
plays TTRPGs differently. Like some people really love going in depth because I feel like this is very in depth, like very like long form campaign stuff in this set. Like I personally would not use this, but the reason I wouldn't use it is because I love building out my why. Like here's my villain's why. And then I build like I like having the flexibility to tweak and go as we move on, because that's kind of my secret sauce is I build out the skeleton and I know that there are fixed points in time that have to be hit if I want this adventure to go in the general direction that I wish it to go in. But I also know that if I want to go right, my players are going to go left and or diagonally, and I need to be ready for that as well. So
Yeah.
Or up. Or down.
Keeping your
down.
knees
Literally-
soft and your villains kissable.
Yes. Oh well, I did that by accident. Let me tell you about Koa and how everyone wanted to do Koa. Even Puja was
Amazing,
like,
yeah.
and it's like, no, that's a dark disciple. They are bad, literally made of toxic water. We could fix her,
Friend-shaped?
every single one of them.
Red shaped.
Why?
Putting lipstick on as we. It's fine. No. Don't worry about it. Yeah. I've made out with many of my problems in TTRPGs.
I'm glad that you added the in TTRPGs to the end of that.
Yes.
My other problems
did you
are harder
need
to
to?
make out with in real life.
Hello, Bills.
Anyway.
Just imagining lipstick covered bills, and I'm like, oh dear.
Ugh.
Especially since mine are all digital now. It's just like my computer's like, what the fuck?
Me making out with my monitor.
And somehow
function
We
is like,
talked about this. We talked about this.
have we come back to the villain is still capitalism?
yes.
The villain is always at
Capitalist.
its heart. The villain is always capitalism.
And, it's that or fascism, and actually that's the line. I don't make out with fascists.
Oh.
There you go.
All right, mailbag number 2.
Woo!
Oh yeah, go. Or
Damn it.
No, you want to go? You can go. That's fine.
Oh,
I can
'cause
go
it's so-
last.
Kimmy writes and puts them in order from shortest to longest. I think. No, I think you've got. You
No.
Damn it. Usually usually it's shortest to longest.
No, there's no planning.
My dearest Happy Jacks. I can't do that voice. As I've transitioned to internet-based gaming, I'm regularly tweaking my player recruitment and retention process. Oh. For
Okay,
each
okay.
player I invite, I request that I each read the following agreement. I hope what players can expect from me and what I expect from them is established from the beginning. The contract I've developed, built up upon in-game experience, is as follows.
Oh boy,
The
okay.
first rule of game mastering is always show the players a good time. In order to meet this requirement, I make the following requests of you, the player.
This is the actual text of the
Oh,
thing.
hell the fuck yes.
Yeah.
I
Right.
love a good contract.
So just for context, I'm a contract administrator as a day job. So like
Oh.
the fact that as soon as I heard agreement and I went like, oh no,
Oh,
here we
it's
go.
like tense up. Okay.
It's coming.
Yep. Like
Well,
I don't think this is like legally binding. I feel like it's just like
no, I don't think so
yeah.
either. But like my brain automatically went there. I was like, oh god.
It was like work mode. No.
everyone is equipped with a Nerf gun, and if you do not execute your contract perfectly, well, you know what happens.
Yeah.
Yep.
Be respectful. Always be respectful of me and your fellow players. Bigoted and or discriminatory language, even in jest, will not be tolerated, and I reserve the right to remove you from the game without warning. Take care of any technical issues. As this game is being played across the internet, it is important that you have both a steady connection and a decent microphone, both so that you can communicate with us without issue, and we can communicate with you without issue. Please be certain that your play space is relatively quiet, and that you don't have to have other audio-visual distractions running while playing. Pay attention. Gaming over the internet can be more difficult than in-play in person, and it's easy to become distracted. However, that means it is critical that you pay attention to your fellow players, to me, and to the game. No one enjoys repeating themselves. Be timely. Life happens, and if you can't make a session, please notify me as soon as possible. It's not a big deal. I'm sure I'll have to cancel a session here and there due to currently unforeseen circumstances. However, repeatedly missing sessions and failing to let the group know is not acceptable. If I deem your absences to be excessive, I will notify you and possibly remove you from the game. Lines. It has been requested that the following topics not be included in the game. Insert lines here. Veils. It has been requested that the following topics only be mentioned in passing or as a fade to black during this campaign. Insert veils here. Please acknowledge your agreement with these requirements by signing this statement with your favorite emoji. I hope this game is. I hope you enjoy this. Insert game name here. Game. Panelists, is there anything you would suggest I change, omit, or add? Is there anything else I should bring to a new player's attention before starting the campaign? Best wishes, Wes from Indianapolis.
Okay.
We've hit a space in which I cannot talk in very much detail because I'm going to get passive aggressive.
Oh no!
I appreciate where you're coming from in this, and I think that the start is really good. Like, obviously, being respectful, letting people know up front that you will not tolerate bigoted or discriminatory language, even in jokes, is a really good start.
Yeah.
I do think that, like, there's a little bit of a lot of requirements here in terms of players and their space and their technical, like, their internet their internet connection is not actually under their control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it does give a feeling of, like, don't bother to play this game if you have children.
Yeah.
Like, there's a bit of that kind of thing. Like, stuff comes up, people have whatever space that they have. That I feel like this feels a little bit harsh on that end. And then also in terms of if you have to have a contract where you say to pay attention to the game, then like, people's brains work really differently. Like, when I'm playing over the internet, cannot have anything else going on. I have 2 vertical monitors that are set up with all game stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Other people I know cannot play without some kind of, like, soundtrack or something going. You have other people who can't play without, like, it's just a difference in everybody's neurospice mix, right?
Yeah, I've been on this show and recommended putting a baby stim video under the camera, which I have to do. I put on, like, a 5-minute craft, so someone's always jingling keys in front of me.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have
It's-
a thing
yeah.
where if I'm like, I have high anxiety, and sometimes, like, especially like if I feel like very anxious, I have to do something with my hands. So I'll fiddle with dice, or I have my sketchbook these days, and I'll, like, start drawing something specifically to keep my brain focused on what is happening. Because if I don't do that, I'm gonna get in my own head, and I'm just gonna, like, not come out. But, like, what I will say out of the gate, this is not a contract. This is not an agreement. Do not call it that. I would say like, this is not a contract. Yeet that word from this language, because number one, when you say the word contract in anything, it's very much people feel very obligated, and what I see here are a set of expectations that you have.
Yes.
No.
Not all of them are realistic, given neurospiciness, life, and all of this. Like, not like I said, not all of them. Like, but like to Pooja's point, like, if you're neurospicy, if you have a life, if you have children, if you have any form of anything, those things can be very challenging to achieve. And so I do think that this needs to be reevaluated to give from a place of from a little bit more, with a little bit more empathy for those who may not have the same resources that these expectations are stating within, like, this body of writing. I will also say that I would love to know the context in which you're framing this, because if this is for something like, for example, a paid game, like you're a professional GM and these are people who are paying to play your game, I would say that, like, having rules, because reads to me more like a set of rules that you have than anything. The I would say that's, maybe reevaluate and make them a little gentler for customer service reasons, but not weird to have it, right? But if you're trying to recruit players for just fun games, like I want to have fun and play with these players, no. This is a little too formal. And I mean, I'm very much like, I'm not going to mince words. I'll say the quiet part out loud. And I do feel like if you're just playing games for fun, I would definitely reevaluate this entire like thing and find ways to make it gentler or make it like phrase it in a way that is more empathetic to the players that you're inviting to the table.
I'm gonna get myself canceled.
Oh boy.
So I super agree with a lot of what you've said, Vixie, with like, I don't think that I don't mind how it's written. I understand that it should maybe be coming from a place of more like empathy when it comes to some table culture things. Very specifically, I think some of the stuff on here can be rephrased. Like, don't have other things going on. Maybe change it to like, be able to pay attention. Paying attention is important. I might have in my session 0, I might go full like group. I'm in my group therapy class right now, and I'm having a great time because it turns out that's just what running D&D is. One of the things we talk about is building out group therapy groups is like we make an agreement in the space like of how we want to respect each other. So like literally Pooja and I are playing with squishy toys, with fidget toys right now. I have a squishy. And so like I need that or like the baby stim videos or whatever, but it's also no one else's. That is a thing I do to keep myself from being disruptive, which is what it looks like that point in this agreement is. However,
that's what I read with it too.
Yeah.
And yes, and that's like the general, like, look at what your actual goals are, and then...
Yeah. So the points I would disagree is I actually don't think this is enough.
Okay.
So I will say, and I've been, since I've not been at Happy Jacks as much, I have been like I've been in other spaces, and I need to, sorry, I just thought D&D is like therapy, but hornier, kinda. I've been in the dirt, I've been hanging out with other people. I will say that like I have been at some and heard some stories of abhorrent tables. And so there is a little bit of like, it's crazy I have to tell you to pay attention. It's crazy that I have to tell people to pay attention, even though I've sat at tables where we're doing something and every single turn in a combat starts with, okay, what just happened? Like, I can't keep reminding people of that. I can't, like, it's crazy. Like, one of the things that I would put in this contract is the wrong word, but I would put in this agreement that I've now had to put in agreements is read the book.
Right.
If you have questions about the system, ask me, learn the system. If we have agreed to do homework for a game, we do homework for a game. Like, and these are things I might find in a session 0. Like, hey, let's all agree together what the expectations are in our game.
Yeah.
How are we managing, note keeping? How are we managing, holy shit, how are we managing snacks if this is in person, or who pays for the room at Geeky Teas or whatever? How are we managing in-character, out-of-character secrets and how we're sharing those in relationships? All of those things are things that I would want to have a conversation at the table, so that's not like the same for everyone as I would like have something one sign. But like, I think it's not a bad question. It's not a bad thing to ask people to be timely and prompt when this is these games first of all, we all know that scheduling will destroy a game.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think it is beyond the pale to ask people to be timely and alert people when they can't make it. Don't be rude.
Yeah.
I don't think
that's absolutely like,
yeah.
I honestly, I kind of understand where you're coming from, I think, but also it is are you a GM who is, you're recruiting people, you're doing online-based gaming, and as Vixie asked, like, are you running games for groups of strangers who are paying you to do so? Are you running essentially what are home games, but virtually? Or are you trying to set up APs? Because it is a whole different ballgame when you're in the situation that like Happy Jacks is, and that is a series of expectations and like that we come to the table knowing that here are the, like, you know, here are the general guidelines and expectations of the space and of the group,
Yeah.
that people really need to be more hammered in, and you get more that way. Like, we don't eat on camera. Like, I'm
We're not
forever grateful to
Yeah.
forever
Yeah.
grateful to Kimmy for instituting that rule.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Look, those of us with misophonia know.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
know. But like, it's things like that. But like, when you're in a virtual home game scenario, I would say, like, abandon the idea of having a contract and have a conversation with somebody and say, these are the expectations of being at the table with us. If you're inviting like one new person in the middle of a campaign, if you're with a group of people in a home game scenario virtually, all of these things need to be agreed upon as a table in a session 0.
And agree on what the consequences are for not doing it. I
Yes.
like I said, I'm struggling right now. I've been at tables where the game requires a lot of off-screen work. It requires like doing some research because it's moving too fast. You need to do this, like, we just need to do it in our downtime. And if that's the agreement and then people are not doing it, it means that you're in a group project and only one person is doing the work. And if
Right.
we've all been in that experience, it fucking sucks. And if not everyone realized that was what was going on, then you have to rehab that conversation. But you have to then be willing to say, actually, this isn't working and people aren't having fun. We're actually done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I need you to come back. Or I need you to do the work and come back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that
I-
goes back to like saying like there's homework involved in this game. Like things are going to move quickly. You are going to have to do things. Like set that at session 0. I kind of think that like having that conversation at session 0 for a home-based game is like that middle ground. And I was going to say, if you're worried about people not remembering or saying like doing that's not what you said situation, you welcome to record that conversation or take notes. If you're recording on the, like, you can do, there's a million different ways to do it when you're doing it on the internet, just to be like, this is what was actually said, this is what we all agreed upon, et cetera, and so on and so forth. For a home game situation. Now, if
Yeah.
for a paid game or for an AP, again, 3 different kinds of beasts, you know.
Yeah.
Especially
The
like
thing-
with APs, there's a whole different set of things that you want to
Yeah.
look at because you're talking about
But you have to have
posting people's
actual
images.
contracts. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're
You have to
dealing
have
with
actual
imagery,
real person.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have some nightmare stories of contracts that I was given that it's like, we'd like to use your image forever. And
Yeah.
I'm like, did you read the contract you handed me? Let's try again. But yeah. So
Yeah.
But,
I
like-
think. Yeah. Go ahead, Pixie.
no, you go ahead. I'm done.
Okay. I think this is great because I honestly think these are things that should be talked about before you even get to session 0. Because if someone can't do any of these things, then they shouldn't be the part of the session 0, you know? So I feel like I feel like the technical requirements are a little much, but I've also had supposed professionals show up to games that are like, oh, I don't have this basic piece of equipment, and we're starting stream in 5 minutes, and I'm like, I can't get you that in the next fight. You are in another state. Like, what did you think was going to happen? So I can also see like the frustration of that. I do think maybe softening the language a little, making it a little less aggressive, because it feels kind of aggressive. But I also, as someone with a child, if you are designing games and you're just, and I'm not saying, but if you're setting up games to play for fun, I feel like it should be fine. If you don't want to have someone who's has a kid and is constantly distracted by that kid, that seems like a norm you should be able to set up. And people, like, you don't have to make your personal home game okay for everybody. Like, you can absolutely set those boundaries. Like, I don't want a crying baby in the background, and I'm happy you have a baby. That's, or whatever, if it's a happy situation, you know, whatever it is, like, great. But I also, like, if I, like that's something that people have a right to do. Like people decide to be, you know, double income, no kids. They want to buy a first class plane ticket, and they don't want to be next to a crying baby. Like people have the right to do these things. Like,
No, and
adult-
that's totally
yeah.
fair. I think I was reacting more to like,
the wording.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it does. Like you said, like it does feel like a bit aggressive.
Yeah.
It feels a bit super structured, super restrictive in a way that like I, even as someone with pretty much the ideal home setup, being that like I have a physical green screen, I have studio lighting, I have a really nice microphone setup, I have studio earbuds.
Yes.
Like
Right.
I read this and was kind of like,
Oh gosh. Yeah.
no, I was just like, go to hell.
Yeah. This is
That's
I
because you
think
have
that's
it
what
No, it's not even
Oh.
because I have it already. It's like I'm reading this and yes, I meet these requirements, but also go to hell.
Mm.
Like
right.
It-
It's very
any of the-
aggressive.
Yeah.
I
Well, to
agree. And
me,
I
it
even
is. Yeah.
even the first line where it's like it's about giving the players a good time, I feel like that could be changed to let's have fun. Because it is
Yeah.
a collaborative experience. Like you're also there, you're also trying to have fun, and part of it, presumably, like you built this because you are trying to address these problems in the game so that you can have fun as well as with your table, right? But I do think the way this is phrased is just so aggressive and it's so harsh and it's like to me and it's if I read this I would be like this seems like a table I don't want to be a part of. Like I would
Right.
immediately
Yeah.
be like,
Can be
no,
useful.
not for me.
It can
Regardless
be,
of
and
whether
yeah.
I have the ideal setup or not. Like that's just
Yeah.
my instant like no.
It's
you know?
it's so funny. I respond to clear delineation.
Yeah.
I like when things. Listen, we all think I'm a chaos goblin. I'm not. I'm a wee fae, and I need so many structured rules so that I can have my way with them.
Yeah. You'd be
Yeah.
amazed how many lists I've written up for Happy Jacks where I read and I was like, I need to be nicer. Let's make it softer. And like, I totally understand this. And this also reads to me as someone who's been burned before.
Yeah,
Yes,
for sure.
and
for sure.
that is 1,000% what it is.
And
Yeah.
I think we all have in the internet gaming space run into a lot of problems where it's just like, oh shit. This is becoming so disruptive it ruins the experience for everyone. And so I
Yeah.
absolutely understand where a lot of this is coming from. And I believe in a lot of the base things here.
Yeah.
They
like
could be said nicer, yeah.
and it just
Consider tone.
consider tone, consider revising this in your mind from a contract to here are the expectations for this table, that these are standard, these are for every single game, these are our baseline expectations that are non-negotiable.
Right. Like, or even just a set of rules, because I also
Yeah.
game master for Story Games LA. I run their virtual component. So I'm the person that like puts together the virtual part of their stuff. So this is kind of like what I do. And one of the things that we do is we have a written sheet that has the guidelines for and expectations. That's basically what they are. And at the beginning of the game, the beginning of the session, I start with that, and I say this is what's expected of you here. These are the safety tools that we have in place that all tables are required to use. And if you don't adhere to these rules, we're going to invite you to use our open table policy, which means you can leave. So like
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
very it's as simple as that, and that's like. And even like if you were to read those guidelines, they're not aggressive, they're just informative. They're like, here's what's expected of you if you're going to participate as
Yes.
a member of this group,
Yeah, and reviewing them at the beginning of each session is so great. And I know that's something that's very common in group therapy. It's something we do with restorative practices in the classroom. Like I do circle every morning with my class. And every morning we read through the norms of circle before we do circle. And they're very short. There's like, they're first grade, so they're very little. So they're very simple. Person with the eagle speaks. The eagle's like our talking stick because we're the eagles. And stuff like that. So they're very basic. And then we all go through the norms and then we do our circle in the morning.
Yeah.
And, one morning, then leave the circle. Like all these little things. And it just helps lock everybody in, remind everybody of the norms. I think, and the biggest thing that I think you should be a little more relaxed on is the technical requirements. There's going to be times where people, like their microphone dies, and so they're using their phone or whatever. Like it's going to be understanding about that. But I also understand like being strict with it, especially if you're playing with people you don't know. Because we also have the benefit of generally, even when we're playing remote, we're playing with people we know, even if it's a remote game.
Or like we trust the Happy Jacks pool very specifically is like people we've vetted.
Yeah.
So even if I've never been at the table with them, I assume they've met our standards as Happy Jackers.
Yeah. Like if
Yeah.
we're running a online game and Vixie doesn't log in, like my first assumption isn't like, oh wow, they blew off the game. My
Mine
first thing
is
is like,
dead.
where's Vixie? What?
Yeah.
Somebody
Are
call
they
911.
okay?
Yeah.
Like, like that level of trust if we haven't heard from you.
Yeah, so then you watch the news and it's like, oh, there's a hurricane. Oh, that
Yeah.
explains it.
Yeah, okay.
So-
Yeah.
It's happened, yes. So
Yes.
like it's different when you're playing with people who are virtually who are basically
Virtual, yeah.
strangers, virtual strangers. That you don't necessarily until you've built up that trust with them.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
like, okay, are you just being rude or not, not thoughtful, or is something really wrong and we need to be worried? Like it's hard.
I
And
do.
it could be just as simple as like, here are my technical requirements. I need you to have headphones and a microphone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
I
then
think
like,
that's-
it's like, here are the basics that I need you to have because otherwise it is too difficult to communicate over Zoom if you're using just your computer stuff, that it interferes with the whole gameplay.
Yeah, I do see why one would have technical requirements. I can find bad audio to be quite distracting, or like sometimes people will be talking and it's just hard to understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
I would, and like obviously not like even with Vix, if Vixie's in the middle of a hurricane and doesn't show up, I'm there like she hasn't made it to the table, she's dead. Like that's maybe not the way one should think about these things, but also like that still belies like I believe that if she could show up to the table, she would have. I have now had experiences in which someone has just simply forgotten their weekly game since 2020 happens on this night and keeps forgetting to like let other players at the table know that that's going to be the case. And it's rude to the GM. It's rude to the rest of us. I have been known to call out people, like games I've been in, for being like, for canceling last minute. Cause I'm like, my time is important. And that's a 3-hour block of time. Like sometimes in the middle of a Wednesday for me is too hard. Like at 3 p.m. to remove 3 hours from my day is a little debilitating for my schedule.
Yeah.
So like I can see why like some of us might have higher restrictions, but again, that's stuff that you negotiate at the table of the level of like, the one thing I might add in any kind of game agreement situation you're going into is how you resolve conflict, full stop. Like, how do you resolve out of character conflict? If I have a problem with another player, do I take it to a GM? Am I expected to be able to take it to another player?
Yeah.
And that really changes, because even with strangers, I think
Especially
that
with
changes.
strangers.
Especially with strangers.
Especially with
That-
strangers, yeah.
Knowing those expectations are super important. So it's something I might add and look into is like,
Yep.
how so much of GMing is just being an adjudicator for problems.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does that include interpersonal?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think too, a lot of like I think for me, it's not that these expectations aren't unreasonable. It's more of how they're phrased. Like Julie was
Yes.
saying. It's phrased so aggressively that like I'm immediately offended reading it. I'm a very sensitive person. Okay. I'm a Cancer rising. And my little Cancer is looking at this going, how dare you? No. Like,
Yeah, the Capricorn in me is like,
Right,
I
Yeah,
will
we're
abide,
gonna-
and also
Yeah.
I will like
Me as a
you
Scorpio,
know.
like I actually really enjoy this.
Scorpio's like, this is hot.
This is hot. No, say meaner things to me.
but I do like the idea
Yeah.
of having clear-cut expectations. That makes perfect sense to me because everybody wants to be on the same page as you start. Like
Yeah.
we avoid so many issues later down the road with a clear set of expectations from the beginning.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And I believe in that.
I love it. I love clear expectations. Then I can meet them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll unpack it later.
I like how we were talking about interpersonal conflict and my cats immediately begin a fight.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, perfect. This. Remember that one time? But yeah.
Stop
like,
hitting.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, I think too, it's important, like once you have these agreements in place, making sure, like you said, having the consequences clearly laid out. Because something that I will say when I game masters, I have a 0 tolerance policy for poor player behavior. If you're going to act like an ass, I'm going to throw you out on your ass. Period. Full stop. And I think once I say that, people are like, "Oh, okay," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm nice until I'm not nice anymore."
Yeah.
you that's up to you. So
It's like, and like the number one rule for so many things in life is just be respectful.
Yeah,
The
don't be an
moment you are
asshole.
disrespectful, then goodbye.
Yeah.
Yay.
Because we get nowhere without a baseline level of respect for each other.
Yeah.
And that's not just TTRPGs, but in life. But like
Yeah.
in TTRPGs, especially because we are in so many situations in which, like, especially if you're in a game where there can be player conflict, like
Yeah.
character conflict,
Mm-hmm.
that you want to make sure that everybody has a baseline of respect so that doesn't result in negative bleed and problems at the table. And then also like that vicious cycle that becomes, like that self-eating monster of your players are fighting because your characters are fighting, your characters are fighting because your players are fighting.
Yeah, which is even easier
never
to
had
do
to
with online games with people you don't know well, because
Yeah.
to them you are mostly your character.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mhm.
if any of you show up at my table and you're just being a dick, like the first thing I'm gonna start worrying about is like, I wonder if they're okay. I wonder, like, after the game we should talk, and I wonder if something happened, because I know you all and you are not baseline dicks in a bad way.
Baseline Dicks is such a my new band name.
Baseline dicks. You know, and it's like one of those things, again, especially when you're playing with people you don't know well, often online, it's assuming best intent is harder because you don't know them well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's just another thing. Until you build up those relationships with people, it's hard sometimes to not just assume bad
Yeah.
intent.
And I guess, like, from the setup of this, like, if, you know, Wes from Indianapolis is going out to recruit people and then retain them,
Yeah.
that it feels like maybe this is once again my, like, the demisexual of it all. Like, I'm not going to invite you to play at my table if I don't already know you somewhat. I don't actually want to play with you unless I know you somewhat, at least.
Table curation is a real thing. I will say, like,
Yeah.
I know more players than I know GMs. And so if something, and like, I do agree with everyone else at this table. I do agree that maybe these agreements are a little harshly worded. Just because I respond well to something doesn't mean that it's good. I promise I'm also in therapy. But like I do think that it's all worth, like, it's a good opening. And also, like, if someone doesn't feel like they fit at your table, you're allowed to say no. There's usually more where they came from. So you can kind of, like, if you're, especially online, because we've broken down the location barriers and stuff, it turns out time zones really suck. But you will find a person who's willing to wake up at 8 a.m. on a Saturday to play your game, if it's good, you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Time zones very much. can be
Time
anywhere.
zones.
We love you, Bixie. We appreciate that you're here right now.
Yeah.
You should be sleeping.
So,
You should be asleep.
All right.
I should
we
be,
have to-
but no.
Yeah. All right. I love our conversation. We're like an hour and a half in, and we're not even on the third email.
Oh God, it's my turn.
So-
It's
Mailbag
Yeah.
3.
that's my secret, Cap. I've been avoiding mailbag 3 this whole time.
Yay. I'm sorry I'm bullying you, Vixie.
It's okay. I have
Couldn't agree to
feelings.
not bully.
So it's
See,
the
we need
cancer
agreement.
rising in me. That's what it is. Gets me every time. Anyway, so mailbag number 3 from the archive 2024. Hi all. Darkknight here from the wet and wild Pacific Northwest with a response to the PC decision shyness, an issue I recently had with one PC using fictional positioning to remove another PC's abilities in the game. First off, during episode 33E25, a listener wrote in saying he struggled with adventuring parties that spent long periods of time debating even the smallest character decisions because of the in-game ramifications their choices might have.
Been triggered.
I literally just thought I used to be that guy too. I have faced hyper-tactical gaming that slows down gameplay in past sessions I have run. It seems most common in gamers who primarily play D&D, but I digress. Oh boy. Outside of planning sessions at a hideout or discussions the PCs have during PC downtime, I typically frame all conversations at the game table as being in character unless the PCs specifically state that they are doing or saying something out of character. If they jump out of character to talk tactics when one player is presented with an in-game choice where the PCs don't have time to talk about their options, I ask them to hold the discussion till after the die roll. This helps to highlight each character's differences, creates interesting gameplay interactions, and helps keep the game tempo high. There are also some fun oh no moments that come along too, like when low charisma barbarian tries to ask a local dignitary for help. Occasional failures are good for the game and they help keep the story fun. Just my 2 cents. On another note, I was recently a player in a Wild West RPG where I was playing a con man liar PC. All the players created characters prior to the game to save pre-game time. Myself and another gamer unknowingly created almost the exact same con man characters with the same background as doctors. We agreed since it was the frontier, we likely knew each other and had worked together previously. From that point on, whenever my PC tried to lie about something or con the other player, that PC they just said they knew me too well and that they could see through anything my player was doing. Okay. Through fictional positioning and with no dice rolls, the other player removed my agency as a con man in the game. It made for some very frustrating gameplay. Maybe a case of fictional positioning being taken too far? Question mark. Have you ever had one player use fictional positioning to completely void another player's shtick, bypass large portions of the game, etc., or are there limits to fictional positioning? And if so, how do you deal with a player who is overusing or abusing fictional positioning as an in-game tool? Keep on gaming, Darkknight.
Oh, Darkknight. That other guy was an asshole.
Yeah.
I've been attacked.
Yeah.
Like-
ugh.
Like straight up. But also, where was your GM?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
like what?
Like, where was your GM in this? Because that, right off the bat, if you have two players who are creating the exact same character, it
That's a
is
problem.
your duty as a GM to be like, please don't do this. We need to have a discussion and, like, we figure out, like, what could work, make alternatives, like, figure out if there's other ways, because, like, that's going to run into problems, period.
Yeah, even if you're having your players create characters away from the table, like everybody should at least put their concept in chat or text or whatever it is. So it's like, hey, I'm gonna play a face character with a lot of money. I'm also, I'm gonna play, a fighty type with like a gunslinger or whatever. Like,
Or if
just
you're
like
in a
me, like, 3
situation,
words.
or if you're in a situation where you want it to be a surprise when you all get to the table, like if you are doing something where it makes sense that your players don't already know and work together, if it makes sense to the story, if it makes sense to the game,
Yeah.
you as a GM should still know what they're all doing ahead of time.
You're playing. You're telling a story together, and sorry, I'm not okay. You're telling a story.
Correct.
You're telling a story together. I don't care if you're used to the haunted house. I'm so sorry. Kimmy is lowering the gain on my mic right now.
But you
I'm
are
not
screaming.
standing. I have headphones on. I can't tell. You're telling a story together. I don't care if the version of your game is like the haunted mansion where all your players sit in your doom buggy and the GM moves you from room to room and you go at every room. I don't care if it is more narrative like Good Society where really it's all just written in a letter and we're vibing. I don't care. You're telling a story together, however you're doing it. And that means that all the writers should be at the table together. So if you come in building a character in its own, unless it's like a one shot and you're doing an Adventurers League thing, figure it out. Like, you gotta have your session 0. I wanna see, like, this is in my agreements. It's like, my agreement is if you cannot be active in the downtimes or in however you're doing your little chat, your little planning, if you can't be active there, make that known at the table. If you can't be active, like if that's an expectation, if it's an expectation that has shown up in the game later, that's fine too, but let people know. Let people know the vibe. Do not build your characters in a vacuum. Do not, like, that's just a bad time for everyone because it just removes collaboration from the game more so.
Yeah.
And yeah, the like someone using fictional positioning to take agency away from a player, it's wild because I see it so little because I rarely find players who are willing to like invest in each other's stories so much that they would do that. But I am a criminal for like I'm a criminal for being like, and do you want to be exes? Like every single game Pooja and I are in, which is why we're not allowed to play together anymore.
We're not always exes, but we do always end up in a relationship.
Yeah. So like
The one time we didn't, the game fell apart. It's a curse.
It's a curse. We gotta stay together. So like the idea of like the fictional position thing, I kind of get why you would like. I want to encourage that more in my players. The DM has to catch that early, especially if there's overlap, and that is the DM's job or the GM's job.
Well,
I just
And honestly, like in a situation that you had, like every time you wanted to do anything, this person just said like point blank that they knew you too well. Like no one knows somebody else that well.
No.
Like you have been apart for some time, you got new tricks. And if the GM isn't supportive of that, then that needs to be a larger discussion at your table about how that dynamic is stymieing you from participating in the game. And I don't remember any specific example of like no, you know what? Actually, I do.
I was gonna say, I was like, I'm sure, like we all have at least one example.
I have one. It's just in this. It's in the Slack, and I'm not bringing it up out here.
But I was running a game, and one of the players was just like, "Well, obviously, I know all of this because this is who my character is." And I was like, "No, you don't."
Yeah.
I just like at that point, like. Because it comes back to this idea that like players want to have that gotcha, they want to have that satisfaction moment, and it's like some people just want it so badly they are willing to do anything to get it.
Yeah.
They want the role that wins the game, and it's like it's at that point if you're in a game where there is a GM, that is a large portion of the responsibility falls on the GM to push back and say, you know what, that's not actually how this is going to work. I'm going to need you to make a roll for that. I'm going to need this to be an opposed roll. If you want this to be the case, I'm going to need you to, like, I'm going to need this to be something because otherwise there's just, or to just say, like, why are you undermining? Like, what is the motivation for you to undermine this person? Like, this character at the table, like what is that, and do we need to bring that to a head faster so that we can resolve it and you two can work together, or any of those things. But like there is a unfortunate situation where like at that point you need to, and if you're in a GM-less game, then that is a, like, hopefully you have a contract with a with a set of no, and hopefully like then you have like a situation where you need to have, hopefully you've discussed how to handle interpersonal conflict.
Yeah, and like no one, we are all very smart women at this table.
I'm not.
None of us. We're all very smart people at this table. Some of us are even women. That said, like none of us are always on top of things all the time. There have been multiple times in which like someone has been like, "Hey Clara, when like what is this fashion item from like this period?" I'm like, "I would never do well on Jeopardy because I don't know when you ask me." So like there's no way any expert at any given time is an expert all of the time. And I'm so sorry, I keep interrupting you, Vixie.
No, it's okay. I was just thinking about this because I find this very frustrating, but I find what I find frustrating is the negging bit. Because it's just such poor gameplay. It's not a creative choice in any way. It's just basically my dick is bigger than yours moment. And I'm like, this is so unnecessary to the game. You're telling a story. It's a story. It's not a video game. You don't have to win it. You like the point is to tell a story. So like my thing is, Yeah, like, and here's the thing. I'm a little bit more lax sometimes when people create similar character concepts, but only if there's enough of a point of difference between them to make them like legally distinct from each other, if that makes sense. Like, you can be a con man and a doctor, and maybe you're a con man and like part of the same like con organization, but you're something else. Like, you're the mail guy. I don't know. But like, pick a thing that makes you different so that you're slightly different. And yes, you may work together, but the way that you do things is also totally different. So, well, you might be familiar with some techniques, you may not be familiar with others. So, like, saying that you know them too well, have you worked with them that long? Are they your partner? What gives you this advantage over them? Like, where are these questions from the GM? Like, those are all things that I would be asking. Like, why do you have this ability to negate this person in this way? And why are you using this ability to keep this person from doing what they do best, what they are designed to do? You know? Because that to me is just like, now you're ruining somebody else's fun, and I'd like to know why. And I've actually had like, it's not the same because this player wasn't necessarily negging others, but I've had sat at a table where a player was trying to like tell other players what to do almost.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I had to step in and was like, listen, let me tell you, I appreciate the fact that you really want this game to move along, but you need to let other people make their choices. And if they're not taking, like, if you feel like they're taking too long of a time, this may not be the game for you. Because at the time it was a new game, it was a new system we were learning. So some people learn at different rates. And I was just like, I need you to like chill out, you know? Which they did. They were very nice about it, and very like, they were thankfully like that player like kind of got it and was able to like correct their behavior. But that was like, in this instance, I feel like your GM should have been like, is this the best move? Is this the best choice? Like, are you sure? You know, something.
yeah.
Because that's what I keep thinking throughout this whole thing. I was like, where was the game master? Do you
Yeah.
have a game master?
Yeah.
Well, and I wonder if some of it is like the game master's just not catching it because the game master's doing 5,000 other things. And then I do find it is the job of the other people at the table even to be like, well, I actually wanted to hear what Kimmy had to say.
Yeah.
You know? Or like,
Me too.
but yeah, it's like, it's, you are responsible not only at the table, as a player, you are responsible because again, we're co-writing this game together.
Yes.
It is your responsibility to let other people have shiny moments. It is responsible to recognize when like someone has a strength or a weakness, that like there's going to be some balancing, and not everyone's going to get to be able to do everything.
Yeah.
But if you find that you are like, you like, it's like, oh my God, Claire's going to make a sports reference.
Mark it on the calendar.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
if you're gonna, like, if you've got two defenders in a soccer game, I think this is how this game is played. They cover two different sides of the field. So, like, they have the same job in two different areas. Is that right?
No,
No.
not really.
Okay, I don't know how sports work.
Not in
illustrated the
soccer.
concept well. That is not soccer, but you
Fine,
you did
but I
illustrate
can-
the
the
concept effectively.
The other sports thing I thought of was Quidditch, and we're not doing that. So, but like,
No.
the point is that like on a heist team, everyone has a unique job. That's not always what you need, though. Like, if you've got two people doing the same task, you can have them pointed in two different directions, and it's the GM's job to like make sure those two directions are being catered to. And like that just, I don't know, it is the GM's fault, but I also understand like sometimes that part of, they are also running the story. They are trying to think of what the villain's motivation is. They are trying to remember who spoke last. So they're like, and they're trying to track initiative. I can see why it might slip under the radar, especially if it feels like collaborative gameplay.
Yeah.
And if nobody's, if everyone's being really polite and nobody's like bringing it between sessions to the GM, like GMs don't read minds.
Yes.
So if at the table you're like, oh no, that's fine, it's fine, and then in between sessions you're like, hey, I was really disappointed by this, they might not know, and they can't be.
Although
like,
I
oh.
will say, like, from the way this is written, like, if something happens several times in the same way, I am going to judge the GM a little bit if they miss it.
Yeah, that's
Like, if it's like one player constantly using the same tactic to undercut another player, then I think that at that point, like, it becomes part of, as a GM, one of the things that you need to do is make sure you're spreading the spotlight around your table.
Yes, you are a moderator.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm gonna say, like, it is important to actually like pay attention to that, and it's more important to pay attention to that than initiative order.
No, and I
Yeah.
agree, but it's like whose responsibility at the table is it to take care of every voice at the table, and it's everyone's responsibility.
right.
Like, learn to share a space. And like, I've been at tables where there are players who have to win every interaction, and I've had a deeply not fun time. And then I've said when people have asked me at later tables, like, hey, do you want to play with so and so?
So-
I'm like, I need a break.
Yeah, and to
You know?
that point, I've actually been in that situation. I actually left a D&D table for that reason, where one player had to win every interaction, and it was slowly driving me crazy because the game master, instead of like pointing that out and helping that player find another way to tell the story where that was more collaborative, the game master fed into that and essentially like really built on their main character syndrome. There's a bunch of other dynamics involved, but that's not the point. The long and short of it is, it made the game not fun for me. Everyone else was content to be a wallflower, but I'm not. So I like actually went to the GM and said something about it, and the GM still did nothing. So I would say like it might be one of those situations where maybe they have said something to the game master, and the game master has done nothing about it because they either don't see the problem or think that you're like, well, and in this case, I was gaslit into believing that I was the drama. Like, yeah,
No.
this table was horrific. Like, there's a bunch of problems at the table. That GM, I will never sit at their table ever again. Like, this is one of those GMs that I've just straight up said, like, if I ever see their name anywhere ever, I'm not sitting at their table.
Names offline.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, but like,
Oh, good.
but no, that's what I was saying. Like, it's a really terrible experience when you're at a table and I think it sucks harder when you really like the story and you've built this character and you have this deep affection for the character you've made, but you can't tell the story the way, like, you don't feel like you're contributing. You can't build your character's arc. You can do nothing. Like, you're just essentially like background extra number 3. It's horrible.
Yeah, there's there's a similar trap as characters who are very similar but like might have that one tweak. You've got to also kind of be paying attention to like, if they only have one thing they do well, then if one of my players they like hitting things, they better get one thing to hit every session. Like, if I have a character who they want to be the biggest brain in the group, and we have 2 big brains, they both got to have things to chew on, or else one of them's not getting enrichment in their enclosure.
Yeah. And I
Well,
think this is something that happens on some level in lots of games. And not usually to this extent. This is ridiculous.
Yes, this
But
is horror story.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
this is horror story material. But I feel like a lot of times, like, the face character will start talking to the big bad, and then someone gets like, this is ridiculous, and like swings a hammer. Or the other,
Right.
like, I've also seen and heard about games where someone is a warrior, but everyone keeps seducing all the bad, so nobody gets to hit anything.
I have been on both sides of this,
Yes.
actually.
Yes.
So this is a pretty common thing, but not to this extent, and not with this
No.
like bad faith actor vibe to it.
Mhm.
I've been in games like that. I've also been in games where it wasn't necessarily like combat related or things like that, but I'm trying to think of how to talk about this game. 'Cause it's a game here.
Oh dear.
Where
So careful.
Yeah, I have to be very careful. Where it was very frustrating for people at the table because one of the players kept like forcing things forward constantly. And the system was one where we actually needed downtime a little bit. And they just like wouldn't let that downtime ever happen. And it got to a point where it was just exhausting to be part of the game because every moment, and I think they did it because they thought it made a good story. I think it was kind of early on in our streaming, so I think maybe they thought, oh, we have to be doing like combat, and so I don't know. I've never talked to them about it, but it made it really hard to play for a while. And that was a situation where the GM, like, also I felt kind of needed to step in, and it was before I was in charge of stuff, so I couldn't like be the person to be like, hey, stop it. Like,
Actually chill.
yeah.
Whack.
Like, yeah. I mean, like, not really, but sort of implied whack.
Yeah.
So I don't
Whack
know.
with love.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
whack with love, yes.
Yes.
But it,
Yes.
I mean, it
Love that.
happens a lot at a lot of tables when you have that many personalities playing that many other personalities and that many other abilities, like it's going to run into problems sometimes. And the communication piece, and especially the GM taking steps to fix it, is really, really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In any group setting, there is going to be a chance for someone who just happens to be a faster talker, a faster thinker, or have a better grasp of the system to run away with it.
Yeah.
And like I've told, like I've been at tables and I've heard of tables where it's like I'm playing and like where like we haven't agreed on tone, and that's a completely different like
Oh yeah.
mailbag thing. But like if we haven't agreed on tone, so the silly character is kind of running away with the game because they just are silly, so they don't need to think about the stakes as much. And then the other character's like, I would really like to have a moment to have some like RP about this. Like it anyway, all of that to say, like the phrase I've used in like my LARP setting as at LARP and as well as like at tables now is like, you got to be a good big friend to little friends. Like not everyone is gonna be a good big friend. Like I am a big friend at a lot of tables. I am a very fast talker and thinker, and sometimes I don't think as good as I should, but I do ask to do it first. And like there's a lot for me of like, okay, other people should be allowed to play this game too, and like how do we step back? And that's me trying to be a better big friend to little friends who might not be as able to voice things quickly, or like so like. And again, I do think that's other table responsibility too. Like it is up to Pooja to slap me in the back of the head if I get away with it too long.
With love.
Right.
With love.
With love. Well, and I think also too, there's something to be said for playing like the same kind of character, because I've run successful campaigns with like I ran an Oops All Paladin campaign. That was all
Yeah.
paladins. And basically I framed it as King Arthur's Knights of the Round Table. They were each like essentially like representing a knight. This was in a Domain of Delight, but you can run it successfully. Everybody played a paladin with a different oath. And I sat down with them and we like kind of worked out their arcs together. But I think a lot of that is again on the GM. And like knowing like it also took a lot of like it was one of the first games I GM'd on an AP, and so I had to go to a veteran GM and be like, I have 5 paladins, they're all level 6, they all have auras, what do you know, like I was like panicking, and he was
They were like, why? Why?
I would
yeah.
just cry.
Oh my god.
Like
Well,
no.
this GM
like,
was
and
like,
I
no,
did.
which he sat down with me and broke it down, and we sat down and we talked about the paladin's core characteristics, and turns out they suck at hags. So like because hags are very difficult for paladins, that because I wanted them to, obviously I didn't want to TPK them, but I didn't want to give them something that they were going to defeat, because a paladin does like a ton of damage. It's almost as bad as like a rogue in D&D. But yeah, so like the point is you can do it, but you really have to think about like what the core skill set of the thing that they're building is, and then how did they personalize it so you can incorporate those elements. Because conversely, I was in an Oops All Warlocks campaign with another game master who didn't realize that having everybody play a warlock meant you're playing everybody's patron, and we had 5
Oh.
Yep.
and they
See, that's when you consolidate and you're like, you're all sort of the same patron.
Yeah.
Even
Right.
if you didn't know.
You guys all gotta be on the same downstream like distributor.
Yep.
I can't do this.
Although that like
I'm just kidding.
it's fine. No, that is hilarious.
That is
it's like you're like,
amazing.
oops, they were all Titania.
Yeah.
Turns out they were all Titania all along.
See, I'm living in the world where I have to play everyone's patron, so it's like me and 5 different sock puppets, just like, all right, guys, let's go.
Just different hats.
I just have different hats.
Yeah,
just change hats every
It's
time you switch patrons.
Yeah.
But yeah.
that is the way.
All right.
But like when you're again, they were just, it was a lot. They were a little overwhelmed because I think they realized they took on more than they could chew. And ultimately that game kind of fizzled out. But like those are like the 2 examples that immediately come to mind. Like, yes, you can, but there are certain ways in which to approach playing the same thing so that the game is still fun for everyone. Because that's what's
and the
key
players
here.
have to have buy-in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like when you join
exactly.
all paladins game, you're like, oh, we're all paladins. How cool.
I want to
Like,
be Oops All Cleric.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're like, oops, we all knew and joined anyway. Oops.
Yeah. Or and like part of the thing with outside of GM responsibility, which I feel like we've covered pretty well, if you're a player who someone else at the table is using their position to stymie you regularly, or
Punch them.
semi-regularly.
Don't punch them.
One
No
thing
violence,
like
kids.
and this is kind of a subset of a subset, right? If you don't feel like you can bring it up or you have brought it up to the GM and they have not acted on that information and you don't feel like you can effectively bring it up with the other player, it's worth it to start to think about like rebuttals in a way that to use this example, it's like, well, actually, this is something I've learned since I knew you.
Yeah,
Like, actually, I went and worked with another group and I picked up some stuff that you don't know about. That it's just that, like they had their, what they thought was the I win button, and it's like, actually, I disconnected it ahead of time.
yeah, that
Yeah.
whole like, oh well, I know you too well. So it's like not since '94 you have it. Like,
Well, and I think that's interesting because taking that approach also reveals what the person's true intentions are. Because if their intention was to negate you for whatever reason, like if they have some, like it's gonna annoy them, and if they get annoyed about it, then I would reconsider sitting at that table because that person
Yes.
is clearly
Mhm.
enjoying bullying you, and you don't need to be there anymore. But
Yeah.
but if they're, it might be something that they didn't realize, and they're like, oh, this kind of like, I think maybe they'll have a come into Jesus moment, if you will, and change their player behavior. You don't know, and you won't know until you do something like that and see.
Also, yeah,
Take it.
there's something to be said for, like, just make another character. Like, if you're not having fun, what's the point of clinging to that character concept?
Yeah.
Like, you're miserable, make a new character that isn't going to compete with them. Like, you shouldn't have to. I
No.
agree.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like the lowest hanging fruit is like, okay, instead of fighting about this constantly, instead of causing and maybe breaking up the only game I get to play in, kill off your character and make a new one.
Yep.
It,
Or
it,
just
like,
table them. They can always just leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
chill. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like arrange it with the GM. It's like, oh, I got called. Like, my backstory MacGuffin
Yeah.
has entered the chat and I need to go exit to deal with that. And then the next week you show up as somebody completely different.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay.
Yeah.
It's just me and Groucho Marx glasses.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's
it.
like it sometimes
It's
you
not
have to
ideal.
make those determinations for yourself.
Yeah.
Like how much of it is worth it to keep playing in this game? Is this the only home game you have? You make a lot of, like, we all make a lot of compromises that we wouldn't normally want to make
Mhm.
in order to keep the only game that we have going.
Yes.
And sometimes that just means you have to be the reed rather than the tree.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's like,
But
I
I
mean,
was-
I won't lie, like I was in that situation for a very long time when I first started playing D&D, and that kept me at a very toxic table for a very long time until I finally was like, I cannot do it anymore. It is negatively impacting my mental health. I need to go find something else. And that like kind of led me on this journey, and now I'm here at Happy Jacks with a bunch of people that are super cool.
Yeah.
Yay. But like at the same time, like I also think like I think that it comes down to one question whenever I'm trying to decide whether or not I should stay at a table. And if you can answer this question, how you answer this question for me says everything that I need to know. Am I having fun? And if you're not having fun anymore, leave, because that's defeating the point of playing the game. If you
Yep.
still are
Yeah.
having fun and the answer is yes, then consider changing it. But if you're not having fun anymore, then it's not worth it. Because the
Mhm.
point of playing is to have fun. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's the ultimate goal here. So
Yeah.
All right. Amazing. All right. 2 hours strong, lady. Everybody.
We knew this was gonna happen.
Yes. All
Look.
the people. All right. Thank you for joining. We did know. Like, I knew. But I looked at the roster. I was like, yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's why I in my old age, I now drink caffeine instead of alcohol during our episodes, because I needed to get to the end.
Wild how much I like over the course of Happy Jacks I've drunk less and less during these. I'm not a better gamer when I drink. I do all this sober.
No, yeah. And yeah, you know. All right. Thank you for joining us for season 36, episode 19 of the Happy Jacks RPG podcast. Please support Carrie Linden, she, they of Snowbright Studio. You can find their work at snowbrightstudio.com. Thank you to our chat mod, James B, and to our amazing Patreons who keep us ad-free and independent. You can join their amazing ranks at happyjacks.org/Patreon. They keep us we don't have to have sponsorships. We don't have to play games that pay us. We can play whatever we want, and we can say whatever we want. We can say we don't like games because we don't have to get paid later, which is great. My name is Kimmy, she, her. You can find the games I make at goldenlassogames.com. And I am here every Saturday night right now. I'm not in any APs at the moment, but we are doing a couple one-shots coming up. So check out happyjacksrpg.org/schedule, and there'll be some random things happening in addition to our regularly scheduled APs that are happening. Why don't we go around and we'll do Vixie as our closer.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
I get to go last.
I'm Clara. I'm all over the internet as clearly_golden. If anyone remembers all of the times I've threatened John Wick, the game designer, the 7th Sea game that I'm in is coming out next Friday, at least the first episode. Theoretically, I'm holding Bloodied Porcelain to it over at Hallowed Haven Studios for that. So if anyone wants to hear a prologue, the first prologue for that game, and see what's given me a lot of consternation for a
Saturday.
year.
Apparently it's Saturday.
Saturday? Okay, I don't know how days work anymore.
Time's a lie. Don't worry about it.
Time's a lie, and I run on school schedule now. So yeah, it comes out on Saturday, and y'all should see that. So otherwise, all over the internet is clearly_golden. I'm trying to come back to Happy Jacks more because I love these people.
Graduate school's a lot.
Grad school is a lot. Hi, I'm Pooja. I don't use pronouns. You can find me on the internet as Forgotten Saves. If you want to hear me play TTRPGs, you can find me on Sundays on Happy Jacks playing everyone's favorite Thembo, S36E19, the astonishing tiefling martial sorcerer.
So my cat's here for it too.
Kitty.
And then you can find me in the Happy Jacks back catalog. You can find Clara and myself on Queen Court's Games.
Oh yeah,
Mekong,
that.
our favorite Southeast Asian mech space opera, where we put the drama in the opera.
We did.
A Webfest nominated.
A Webfest
Actual play.
nominated. Also, we were on All Night Society for the one shot, which I really liked. So
Yes, and we got nominated for an award for that.
did we?
Yes.
Oh, I have to pay attention to things more.
There's so many awards you don't even know about. Them.
Apparently, these are, so yes, if you want to hear Clara and myself play, two very, very different times of a relationship. I know, like
Kimmy cast
Coming-
us in more so we can keep being weird lesbians.
coming together and also murder.
But also
Seems on
murder.
brand
I
for
love
Happy
that.
Jacks. All right.
Oh my god, I'm not gonna be able to get
Is
out.
it me? Am I the
Okay,
drama?
I'll get-
I think it's you.
It's you. You're
Ready
not
to
the
go.
drama, but we love you.
Hey everybody,
God,
my
oh my
name
God.
is Vixie Bell, and I've been here at the Happy Jacks table for the second time. This time as a panelist. Super excited. Thank you for having me. And you can find me
Today.
everywhere
Second
on-
time today.
Yeah,
Today.
today. Sorry, today. It's been a long Saturday
Like,
for
you
me.
picked a lot more than twice.
Yes.
Like, hold on, we know
Today,
you.
second time today. My bad. But yeah, and you can find me everywhere on the internet over at Vixie Bell or at Pocket Dragon Pub, because I have my own AP called the Pocket Dragon Pub, where I run, play, and sometimes produce games to my own chagrin. But yeah, and you can actually find me here on the Happy Jacks Network, where I ran Pirates of Dark Water. You can find that at happyjacks.org/Pirates of Dark Water. It's burned into my brain, Kimmy. It's branded.
It comes out of you.
Forever. But yes, and you can also find me here on Saturday afternoons with the delightful GM Rose and my wonderful table of colorful folks.
Yay.
Yes,
Neon
playing
Knights.
Neon Knights, a Masks adventure. I get to play the Bull playbook, which is fun. I don't often get to play the
That is a
character
very
that's very
fun.
physical, but when I do, it's a blast. But yeah, so those are the different places that you can find me. You can find me all over socials. I'm super excited to announce that our Good Society game over at the Pocket Dragon Pub will be releasing. So if you like stuff like Bridgerton, be sure to check out The Secret Ways of Love and Magic. We're going to be taking a journey in romance in the Kingdom of Cardinal. So it's going to be super fun. We started filming this week and I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, so that's everything I'm doing right now. Follow me on socials for more. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. And if you are in the area of LAX for February 13th through 16th, Don't forget OrCon. We'll be there. It'll be fun. It's a good time. Yeah, and you can get a 1-day badge if you're like in your LA local or driving distance for just 1 day or stay the weekend or whatever you'd like. Yeah. So
I might be
today,
in the area, but I made no
Yay!
promises.
That'd
Yay, it might be.
be amazing.
Yay.
It seems like this major contingent is coming this time. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
God, I'm gonna sneak away from this bachelorette party.
Yeah.
Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Crash it,
Low-key
it's
just-
fine.
Wait, how do you cast mirror image?
I have an evil twin. She's gonna be at the bachelorette party. Shit.
We tried.
Oh, I have a second evil twin. Okay. we're good.
All right. We're going to leave you with a song this week. We're going to leave you with The Bird Song by the Merry Wives of Windsor. One of my
I
favorites.
know them.
I know them.
You know them.
You can find them at mwow.net. And thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
And wow.
Bye.
Bye.
I saw the blackbird sitting on a chair. I once caught at a lady fair. She proved fickle and turned her back. Ever since then I'm dressed in black. Ever since then I'm dressed in black. I said the blue jay as she flew. If I was a young lass I'd have too. If one proved fickle and chanced to grow, I'd add a new string to my bow. I'd add a new string to my bow. Hi-di-di-di-diddle-o-day, 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 hi-di-di-di-diddle-o-day. Hi, says the little leathering bat. I'm gonna tell you the reason that I sleep the day and cry in the night. It's all for the loss of my heart's delight. It's all for the loss of my heart's delight. Hi-di-di-di-diddle-o-day, 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 hi-di-di-di-diddle-o-day. Hi, said the woodpecker sitting on a fence. Once I courted a handsome wench. She proved fickle and from me led. Ever since then I'm dressed in red. Ever since then I'm dressed in red. Hi, says the robin standing firm. I wish I had a great big worm. I'd fly away into my nest and take a wife I think is best. And take a wife I think is best. Hi-di-di-di-diddle-o-day, 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 hi-di-di-di-diddle-o-day. Hi, says the little morning dove, I'll show you how to win her love. Court her night and court her day. Don't give her time to say nay. Don't give her time to